Hi there. Thanks for joining me on this walk in the woods. Today I did a chore to do. Put up this fence post. This fence post is going to help me find the surveyor's mark. The surveyor put a temporary mark up here. This will be gone in a little bit. Underneath here is a metal stake, and just on our side of the property over here, I decided to put this fence post. You know, you think you're going to remember where the corners of the property are, and you know, I'm thinking, okay, there's this double sycamore behind me just by the river here on this quarter-mile marker, and I should have no problem remembering it. But you know, 20 years goes by, and well, there you go. Several $1,000s were spent surveying this place when we bought it, and just hate to lose that, but we kind of did. We've resurveyed as we've built outbuildings and things here, but this corner right here, boy, that escaped me. So we got some new neighbors, and they had their land surveyed, and this is where our new neighbors and our land come together. You know, it's not, to me, I guess I'm standing on their side. It's not so much about that. It's kind of about, I like conservation and I want to take care of the land, and I am glad that you can come and join me and we can walk together. Tell you what, let's go put this thing away, and I'd like to take you for a quick walk here. You know, we're right on a trail, a game trail. Hang on just a second, we'll switch this around. I don't know if you can see it. Here we go. I'm sorry. And a wild ride it is. Let me take this down. There we go. There we are. So it's a little game trail down through here. It's amazing how many animals come through here. I have a camera not too far from here, a trail camera, and it's picked up all sorts of animals. Maybe I'll share that with you sometime. Quite a few deer rumble through here. Just a lot of fun. You know, so boundaries, you can forget them if you don't maintain them. And you know, I think there's a lesson, in fact, books written on boundaries and relationships. In the Old Testament, I think it's Proverbs 27, it talks about boundaries. Don't move the boundary markers. Don't move the boundary markers. Look at that old tree. Home to bats and other animals. And you know, it's almost like stealing if you were to move a boundary marker. But some of these boundary markers up north, about a quarter mile, there's a boundary marker in the road. And that boundary marker, that's kind of where all the other survey marks come from. Surveyors will come out, they'll find that pin. It was put in by the engineers a long time ago, and surveyors many years ago, and they go to that point and they'll measure everything against that. When they measure, it's like, I asked one surveyor one time, why can't you just use a compass? And that's when I learned that there's a difference between magnetic north and true north. Magnetic north is a little off from true north in most places, and the maps will compensate for it. But beyond that, magnetic field on the earth shifts. It's not in the same place all the time. So it can create some confusion. You know, I think about what Jesus says. He says, I am the way, the truth, the life. No man comes to the Father God except through him. You know, he's the truth. He's the true north. He needs to be the true north in my life. And by the way, I hope you don't feel like I'm talking at you. This is a walk in the woods, and hopefully we can have a conversation. I tend to talk slower when I'm doing this, one, because I'm trying to formulate what I'm saying, but also I want to leave time for you to think, for you to formulate a response as if we were together. So there's that. Well, it's not a long video tonight. I love this. The river's up high. This area I'll show you another time. Is when the river comes down, this will be a little pond with an island out there. When the river's low, the deer cross. They're not going to pay too much attention to my marker. It's one of the things I like about them. Boundaries are kind of a human thing, at least boundary markers. This river doesn't pay too much attention to boundaries. There's times this river would be way over my head at this point. I don't know if you can see it. It's brought down some logs and jammed them right in there. It's a tremendous amount of power. Well, have a good evening. Thanks for joining me in a walk in the woods.